So a nationwide test of the UK's emergency alert service will take place at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Messages will pop up on mobile phones across the country, along with a sound and vibration that will stop automatically after 10 seconds. People will just need to tap OK or swipe away the notification like any other, with no further action required. Well, joining me now is tech journalist Will Guyatt. Will, there's a lot of people been sort of complaining about this, that the long arm of the state is tapping into their screens. Should they be concerned, or is this just something to brush away?
Well, just to be clear, and let's speak about the facts, because there does seem to be a pretty decisive split in the UK between people who think this is okay and people who believe this is an Orwellian overreach by the government. Just to put some people's minds at rest, they don't have your phone number. They don't have any of your personal information about you or your phone. Your phone, if it's connected to a mobile phone signal, a cell phone tower, the tower which provides the antenna that provides the signal to phones, if it's connected to one of those at 3 p.m. on Sunday, you will get this test alert. And in the future, should they choose to use this for any kind of emergency and it's targeted at certain regional areas, if you are connected to one of those cell phone towers in that affected area, you will get an alert to your device. And it lasts 10 seconds and you can delete it.
Don't you think the timing of this, Will, is a little bit boneheaded? It's taking part during the London Marathon, so they won't be able to answer it. Football's about to kick off, they won't. And it's St George's Day, the patron saint of England, being interrupted so rudely by a bleep at 3 p.m. The timing is a bit off, isn't it?
Now, I have to say, the sport questions and the marathon questions have been levelled at me about 25 times in the last week when I've been speaking about this. But nobody else, Martin, has talked to me about St George's Day. But I respect that certain people might feel that. It's a tricky one, right? When are you going to do this at a time that is acceptable? I should tell you that accidentally in Florida, they set off the emergency alert system the other morning at 4:15 a.m. So we're all going to be quite glad we're not getting an unexpected rude awakening from bed for a false alarm. This is being tested. You can, if you really want to, disable it on your device. If you've got an Android phone or an Apple phone, you can go into the settings and you can go to your notifications, and under there you'll have emergency alerts, and you can remove those and silence them. And that means this will not go off on your device.
There have been some concerns thrown out. For example, women who have a second mobile phone to keep from their partner, if they're suffering from domestic violence, that could go off and be a giveaway on those kind of phones. I saw a report yesterday about owners of pet shops, again, distressed that this might start going off in pet shops and cause unnecessary distress to pets. Has this really been thought through? And actually, is it even necessary? I mean, we don't get typhoons and hurricanes. We don't get flash floods. We don't get fires in Britain. Why do we even need this thing in the first place?
May I tell you that there were fires last summer in London that encroached certain areas and then damaged houses. If those people involved in those fires in the summer had had a notification telling them that they needed to evacuate, may well have helped. It's a tricky one, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I've got 100 reasons as to why this will save lives in the UK, but the service which has been used in other countries for around a decade has saved lives. It's definitely saved lives in forest fires in other countries and floods across Europe. And there are documented cases where people's lives have been saved as a result. When it comes to those who domestic abuse cases, those who might have sensory issues, they might have autism or might not like loud noises, I do respect and do understand that those people might have a tricky time here. But that is not a reason to not have a system that pretty much of every other country now has. And it is a way of alerting us to stuff if bad things happen. But like you, Martin, the one thing that's important for me, I want this to be used for what it's currently stated. I don't want it becoming a government overreach and them suggesting all sorts of things and sending government messages to everybody's devices. It should only be used for a genuine emergency.
Well, Will Guyatt, thank you for joining us on this important issue. I think actually a lot of the kind of scepticism towards this is because of government overreach during the pandemic. During lockdowns, people were terrified of their details being used by the state for nefarious reasons. Will, thank you for joining us today.